And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Here on the program, we like to put the spotlight on the organization known as Common Ground.
The group is made up of farm women in Nebraska and around the country who are focused on getting a positive message out about agriculture. So joining us now with more is Lana Hoffschneider, Waco area. Thank you for being here today. Always good to see you.
Thanks for having us back.
Yeah, you bet. Good to see you again.
How was your drive today?
It was good, actually. I'm glad we didn't have those snowy roads like they do out west, so
Right.
it was easy.
You bet.
All right, so we're going to talk about food safety. We're busy baking and making cookies during the holidays,
Yep.
preparing food for our friends and family. What should we keep in mind?
Well, I was just baking sugar cookies with my kids this last weekend, and of course we had lots of frosting and licking our mouth and had to go wash our hands and had some discussions about that. So all part of it.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, we need to teach our kids and also remember ourselves about proper food safety, especially with meat and vegetables. And one key part of it is using a cutting board. And one thing that I might suggest that I hadn't thought about before but is important is you should designate have several cutting boards. Designate one for your meat products and one for your vegetables and fruit products. That way you're not, you might be cutting up your meat or doing something on a cutting board with meat, and then you go to do something with your vegetables. Well, you're causing problems there. You might not be cooking the vegetables that you're cutting and you haven't cleaned. Just thinking about those things that you're doing is a big part of it. We do have 5 food safety tips on our cutting boards here. The first one to think about is having a clean start. Just like I was talking about washing your hands, you should technically wash them for 20 seconds. And then to divide and conquer, which is just what I was talking about, separating your meat products from your vegetables and having different cutting boards. Number 3, keeping the 2-hour rule is keeping your cool is having your perishables at less than 40 degrees. And you can't see done. That's one of my favorites is a lot of times we cut our meat, oh, it looks done, and then you get to the table and it's not done.
Yeah.
You should use a food thermometer. That's very important, and most of them have on them, or at least on the packaging, how hot your internal temperature of your meat should be. And then when in doubt, throw it out is a good thing to remember. If you're not sure if it's warm enough, or you're reheating something, or you're just not sure if it's been, a lot of times we keep things out for grazing all afternoon at a get-together. Instead of keeping the leftovers, especially if they have sour cream or just about anything, throw it out when you're done instead of trying to keep the leftovers. So those are
that
important
happened
pieces.
last night with the
Well,
pizza.
I did eat some pizza that was sitting out on the table for at least 3 hours, but I didn't know that. So, but
I was running out the door with the kids to activities, and I thought I put it in the fridge, and I didn't.
it's good to,
so,
but that's a good point to kind of know
Yep.
how long it's been out and
I've been
throw
known to
away
leave some
when in
things
doubt.
out on the counter at night, letting it cool before I put it in the fridge, and then wake up in the morning and it's still on the counter.
Yeah.
So frustrating, and I hate throwing it out, but
Yeah, you forget.
yeah, it's not worth the risk.
And Lana, it's important to point out too that the food system in our country is really not the problem. It's all inspected. The food is safe.
Exactly.
It's important to point that out. But I guess it's when we prepare it is when maybe the danger could come.
It doesn't really matter where you get your food from, whether it's your own garden or a farmer's market, or whether it's organic, GMO, or conventional. None of that matters in food safety. It's in our preparation, and restaurants have been in the news lately about some food safety issues. So even whether it's at home and you have the responsibility of serving your family or people that are coming over to your house, or if you're a server in a restaurant, keeping food safety in mind is a very key important thing we can't take for granted.
Good idea this time of year. Yep.
All right, thank you, Lana.
Thank you.
Thank you. And